motion, ask if there's a second, you can
The
say
video.
discussion, and then we'll.
Yeah, I bunched it all together, so both presentations are in there.
Discussion.
We're live. Go ahead.
Call to order of the planning and zoning meeting. Time, wherever,
Is 6:04.
6:04. Everybody stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mr. Schrader?
Here.
Ms. Cunningham?
Here.
Ms. Walker?
Here.
We have quorum. So if we can take now a 10-minute recess, can I get a motion from you guys for a 10-minute recess?
Yeah. Motion for a 10-minute recess.
I need somebody to make a motion.
I motion for a 10 minutes recess.
Okay, and do we have a second?
Second.
Perfect. All right, we're gonna take a 10-minute recess. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ms. Cunningham?
Aye.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. 10-minute recess. Starting at 6:05 to 6:00. Okay, we're on.
Next item, approval of the previous minutes. Entertain a motion.
Was that here?
If somebody would make a motion?
Make a motion.
I second it.
Okay, perfect.
Roll call.
Motion made by Ms. Cunningham, seconded by Ms. Walker. Ms. Cunningham?
Yes.
Ms. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Schrader?
Yes.
Motion passes.
The next item is,
Or number 5, Mr. Schrader.
okay, additions, deletions, withdrawals.
We have none at this time.
None.
None.
Okay, applications for the public hearings.
Yep.
File number 23TW-01, applicant, Koinonia Worship Center, address 4900 West Hallandale Beach Boulevard. Traffic waiver for 48th Avenue. And do I read the blue part?
No, no, no.
No, 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 no. you good.
He reads.
No, those are documents. that
No,
are
no,
closed.
those are actually attachments. So good evening, Planning and Zoning Board members. My name is Mike Vondermeulen. I'm with a company called Keith. We're consulting engineers. We actually do survey, civil engineering, urban planning. So I'll be here tonight essentially representing the town as the town planner. With me tonight is Mr. Sean Schwartz. He is with he's with a particular law firm that I don't want to mess up the name.
Orange Sheriff off duty Nazareth for the interim town attorney.
Yes. So they are the interim town attorneys. So they're here to make sure that we follow all the rules. If for any reason we start going astray or something goes wrong, he will be interjecting and telling me or you to make some changes if that's even necessary. So let me go ahead and do this first one. As you stated, it's a Trafficways waiver. This application is actually very unusual. It's not very common. So I'm going to give you a brief primer on what it actually is, and then explain what. And if I pronounce it wrong too, because I've always been pronouncing it Koinonia. Is that wrong? Or it's Koinonia? Koinonia. Okay, I'm sorry. I will try to do that. Been rehearsing the wrong pronunciation.
Repeat that again.
Coin, like the money, Koinonia.
Alrighty. So I have a PowerPoint presentation for actually for staff's presentation, and then the applicants are here to answer any questions you may have of them before you go ahead and make a motion on their requests. So this is a location map. If you're not familiar with the site, it is on Hallandale Beach Boulevard, right next to the Preserve Park. Very close to City Hall here, just a little bit further east. You can see the area is essentially outlined in red from the property appraiser's map. And we'll get into a little bit more of that a little bit later. So if we can go to the next slide. This is what I wanted to explain as a primer. This map, and it's probably very hard to read as you can see here, this is called the Broward County Trafficways map. So every road that is on this map is considered a trafficways by Broward County. It had nothing to do with the town of Pembroke Park. It's just a county-wide map. And what this does is it specifies the width of each of those roads and what they are, whether they're a collector, meaning they collect traffic, or they're an arterial, where vehicles are supposed to, get from point A to point B in a far location. So Hallandale Beach Boulevard, as well as Southwest 48th Street, are both on the Broward County's Trafficways map. So this request in front of you tonight is not on Hallandale Beach Boulevard. This is strictly Southwest 48th. And surprisingly enough, Southwest 48th Avenue is only on the Trafficways from Hallandale Beach Boulevard to County Line Road. I don't know the reasoning. It is just the way the county has specified that. More than likely, it's because the elementary school is down there on the south end of the road. So they have identified this as their minimum size road, which is 80 feet. And it's a collector, so it collects traffic from various locations and gets you to the arterial, which is Hallandale Beach Boulevard. And there is a process at Broward County where if for any reason there are no real road widening projects contemplated, in the foreseeable future, if there are adequate sidewalks and road width, the county will grant what they call a Trafficways waiver. And because this particular road is in the town of Pembroke Park, they want an action. What we're going to provide them is what we call a letter of no objection, to allow the applicant to move forward to Broward County, because Broward County is the actual folks that need to make the decision. But they do want input from the town before they make their decision. So that's why we're here tonight. And you all are actually acting as a recommending body to the town commission. So after this hearing, your recommendation will be brought to the town commission, and then they'll make the final authorization of whether or not the town should issue the letter of no objection. So we have looked at this application. The application itself is actually in the format of Broward County. We don't have a special application for the town itself. All this information is in here that the county requests. I believe all of the justifications and reasonings that Koinonia, I really apologize. I'm going to mess this up every time. So the worship center, they have valid justifications. There is one condition that we recommended as staff is, if you would go to the next slide, Marlon. You'll see, and this is probably also in your backup, there's an exhibit. And in there, you'll see that there is 15 feet of right-of-way, and it actually shows up on the property appraiser's map too, is that the worship center owns a portion of Hallandale Beach Boulevard and owns a part of Southwest 48th Avenue right now. So to make sure that we have all our bases covered, that the road and the sidewalk become part of Broward County's right-of-way, we have conditioned our approval that 15 feet of the property that is identified as part of the worship center's property be dedicated as right-of-way. But the remaining, which is an additional 25 feet, the additional 25 feet would be waived. We don't have any plans to widen Southwest 48th Street. Neither does the MPO, neither does Broward County. There are sidewalks out there, and there's adequate width for the roadway there. So we are recommending that you go ahead and authorize that letter of no objection. And I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
I have a question. Is that the area that's next to the laundromat that open lot space?
Yes, yes. So the intention is if this is granted, the worship center is planning on building a new worship center on that vacant property. And what happens is if that entire 40 feet was granted, plus the town setback, they lose a vast amount of property, and the plans that they have been working on for years in designing and trying to raise funds to build this would be all for naught. So in a spirit of cooperation, we are recommending that we go ahead and issue this letter of no objection.
Ms. Cunningham, can you bring the mic closer to you, please?
Yes,
Turn
ma'am.
it on.
It is on. Yes. Yes.
So will they be going across the street, 48th, for this property, or will it?
No. So
It's still going to be in their area.
yeah, correct. So the road, strange enough, the road will not change at all. It's just strange that when you do a property research, and for some reason the property was never taken from them previously, but currently they own the sidewalk and a piece of the road. And so what we're doing is formally taking that, or Broward County will take that, and then we'll waive the requirement for the rest of the right-of-way, which is 25 feet.
But they don't need to make a way to get out onto 48.
No, well, when their site plan moves forward, so it'll be a second application. You're not approving the new building. This is strictly just the roadway issue. So when they come in later, they will show us their location of their openings on that road. And, they'll need to both negotiate with the town and
So that's
the
not
county.
on our
But
part.
this is not on the agenda tonight. That's correct.
Eventually, they'll need a way to get out.
Yes.
You say you have a part A, which is now, and a part B.
I'm sorry?
You have like a part A now. what you go-
Correct. Part A is this first step, and then they can move forward with finalizing their
No,
designs.
both is going to coincide. So the second part would be what?
The second part would be what we call a site plan. And what they will do is they will bring drawings to the town showing us what they plan on building. So they will bring a new worship center, so it'll be a new building with parking, new driveway into the property. It'll show whether or not they'll demolish any of the other buildings that are on the property to make sure that this new building fits. And we'll have various different experts from the town review that, both civil engineering for drainage, planners, landscape architects, traffic engineers. That all happens before those drawings come to you.
I need you to open for public comment. So we don't have it on there, so my apologies. All you're going to say is, I open now for public comment. Anybody in the audience wants to come up?
Okay, anybody for open comments in the audience?
I just want to state for the record that the applicant is here. So if you had any additional questions.
How you say closed?
Yep.
Public comment is closed.
Public comments closed?
Do you allow any over the Zoom or no? Or is that just?
No, we
Okay.
don't do that.
Okay.
Yeah. And now if somebody wants to go up that wants to make a motion.
Oh, entertain a motion?
I make the motion to approve it.
Second.
I would just ask that if you'd like to entertain the staff's conditions, that you just include that in the motion. Motion to approve with staff conditions.
I make the motion to approve with staff conditions.
Thank you.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Any further discussions?
No, not from me.
Roll call?
Motion made by Ms. Cunningham, seconded by Mr. Schrader. Ms. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Schrader?
Yes.
Ms. Cunningham?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0. Next item.
Okay, next item is
Thank you.
BH 2550 LLC, Rachel Streitfeild, Caldera Law, 2550 Southwest 30th Avenue, and the request is a zoning amendment.
Sure. Again, members of the Planning and Zoning Board, my name is Mike Vondermeulen, for the record. This request is for a temporary use. This temporary use is actually going to be for approximately 9 years, if you have read in the staff report. The applicant has come in and I'll give you a little bit of background. Over the past 2 years, the town has been very interested in creating a arts mixed-use entertainment district along Southwest 30th Avenue. It was to encourage the mix of uses, including commercial, residential, entertainment, outdoor entertainment, indoor entertainment, indoor and outdoor recreation. It allows increased heights, increased densities, and it was all nicely situated because it's right between I-95 and the railroad tracks. It had a good amount of spacing and buffering from any of the other residential areas within the town. The applicant was very involved in that. However, when they were doing all of their due diligence and research, it was realized that there is no sewer system on Southwest 30th Avenue yet. So I'll try to explain it. Everything, all the buildings on Southwest 30th right now are on septic tank. Surprisingly enough, yes. And so it has been, an opportunity for the town, as well as some of their engineers, to start working on what essentially creating a sewer line, attaching it to the rest of the system, and you need to design, fund it, permit it, and construct it. And so in my staff report, you'll see the explanation that even if the money was available today, the best case scenario is that this sewer line would be built in 2026 at the earliest. I have been talking to the civil engineers and the folks that have worked on the conceptual designs. So it has not even gone to permit design yet or anything like that. They're anticipating that there are federal and state funds available, and they should be available sometime next year. So again, best case scenario, we're probably looking at somewhere around 2027. And if there's a delay, if there's a hurricane, if you don't get funded, if there's a permitting issue, because this has to go underneath the railroad track, there are a lot of factors. So the applicant has put his initial plans of developing a hotel and apartment complex on hold, and is requesting that at this time, until the sewer system comes in, that you allow some temporary uses on the property. And so that is what you'll see in the applicant's request. The applicant is requesting 3 particular uses. One is on-street parking, which is really not a use, but right now we encourage the on-street parking to be parallel with the road. They're requesting to use 45-degree parking, which will allow them to get a few more parking spaces on the city right away. then retail, showroom, and storage. So this particular use, a retail showroom, whether it's furniture or some other kind of businesses, is actually one of the permitted uses in that new district. So we do not have any objection to that. The last one is the parking use. And the applicant, if you can see from their letter, they actually had included one of the district school board members, and in discussions with the applicant, I believe that there is intentions on allowing the buses to stay there overnight when they're not in use. So this would be parking for school buses.
Mr. Vandermeulen,
Yes.
may I just make a point of clarification? The reason, good afternoon, members of
I
the
was just-
board. My name is Rachel Streitfeild. My law office is at 7293 Northwest 2nd Avenue in Miami, and I represent BH 2550 LLC. The clarification, the reason that the school board member for this area, who lives in Parkland, by the way, I found out while I was looking for his email address. I thought that was very interesting. Anyhow, I included him on this petition because your code here in Pembroke Park has very specific requirements as to what must be done procedurally for the requests that we submitted. And the code specifies that the school board member for the district must be copied on the petition request. So that is why I included the school board member.
My apologies for the assumption. So the applicant, they can explain further. They're looking to be able to store vehicles on site on a temporary basis until such time as they can redevelop the property and the sewer lines are installed. I will go ahead and stop my presentation and let the applicant proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Town Planner. Again, Rachel Streitfeild, 7293 Northwest 2nd Avenue. First of all, thank you very much for your service. As Mr. Vandermeulen stated, the town, and I think understandably, was very ambitious when it rezoned this area to encourage a mix of uses. My client is excited about the rezone and does want to invest in housing and hotel and retail on this site. But right now, he cannot build housing, retail, and hotel on this site because there is no sewer infrastructure, as it was made very clear. And having a lot of experience in infrastructure planning, funding, and design, we know that if there is currently no funding, bids for engineers have not gone out, plans have not been designed or permitted, as he mentioned, 2027 is a best case scenario. So right now, there are no real habitable uses on this parcel that are consistent with what your code provides. So we're asking for this temporary use, and there is a sunset date, and we've requested 2033. We're asking for temporary uses so that we can do something today with that property. And again, the uses are limited because there is no public infrastructure, but we are hoping that once that public sewer is there, we will be able to build the project that we had initially designed to do.
I have a question. This area, is this by the new racetrack when it's going to be? Where?
No,
I'm
Mrs.
trying to.
Where is this?
Board Member Cunningham, the area is just west of I-95 and just north of Hallandale Beach Boulevard. It's pictured here on the screen for you. You see it's literally adjacent to I-95, right near the train tracks. So
Before the train track.
in between I-95 and the train tracks.
Yeah, because,
Before or after, depending on where you're coming
because then you're in Hallandale.
from. We're
Yeah.
not in Hallandale.
Oh, I know, but I meant that would be.
Yeah, Marlon, I think I may have another slide that may show some, there you go.
Right, that's the site as seen from I-95.
Yeah,
and
there's-
as from 30th Avenue.
Correct. Yeah, if you just want
Okay,
to go
and
back
when
to
you
that
say entertainment, what do you,
Yeah.
like,
one.
So the entertainment district already exists. That is how the property
Right.
is zoned today. The MXC allows for a vibrant mix of uses to encourage more pedestrian activity, more retail, restaurants. There's a long list of permitted uses under the MXC that does include nightclubs and things like that. That's what your code says today.
because that's what I was thinking. I'm like, nightclubs, strip clubs, right? When we say entertainment,
Not strip clubs,
all
no.
of that falls under entertainment.
And again, that is what your code allows today. And we're not asking for a change to the code universally. We are asking for an amendment specific to our property and our intended uses that would allow us to do something with the property today, because we cannot build a hotel, apartments, restaurants. We can't do any of that without the sewer. And frankly, we don't want to wait to start using this property, and legally we should not have to.
Does he have an idea of what he would like to put on that property temporarily until?
Yes, the temporary uses are spelled out in our petition, which I believe you have before you.
Which?
This is page 24 of your packet.
It said on-street parking.
On-street parking, retail, showroom, and storage, and parking uses.
Okay.
These are uses that don't require bathrooms, essentially, right? So we were very limited.
Okay, when you said on-street parking, explain
There's
it to me.
Southwest 30th Avenue is the street, and that's what we mean. We want to be able to park cars that are not in a parking garage. We certainly don't, it costs $50,000 a parking space to build a parking garage, and obviously you have to demolish it when you want to build what you actually intended to build there. So we don't want to have to build a parking garage to park these vehicles. We want to be able to park them on the street.
So this doesn't interfere with any
Will it
type of
interfere-
traffic or anything?
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
And again, if this is another application that you're a recommending body to the town commission, so they'll be the ultimate final decision maker on this one. If they do go ahead and grant these temporary uses, then a site plan will move forward and be brought to this the planning commission for review.
Okay.
Okay, I see on-street parking. What about the parking usage? What does that mean? The
That
same
we
thing?
will be permitted to park cars on the parcel itself in addition to on the street without obstructing traffic.
Okay.
And what would be parking what cars?
Like anyone, I guess, that comes to whatever the business.
There's
Certain
actually
business,
a need for commercial parking. We have a booming
Commercial.
logistics industry here in South Florida. In Miami-Dade County, they're actually having a very, very tough issue with overflow vehicle parking. And so my client does not have a lease with a vendor yet, but he would be looking to lease that space to someone who needs a place to park vehicles. I mean, it's not us. We're not related to Amazon or anything like that.
So the commercial vehicle wouldn't be what you guys intended to do? You say something about commercial vehicles?
Our long-term plan is not to have these parking uses. The long-term plan is to build something that would either house people or allow them places to shop and have potentially offices there. But because we can't build that yet, because there is no public infrastructure, the uses for today are very limited, and we need to be able to utilize this land that we own.
Okay.
Again, I'd like to know exactly where that is, and I'm drawing a blank. So if you're going,
Come off of 52nd and you get onto Hallandale Beach Boulevard and you
Right.
head to the beach.
yes,
Right before you get to 95, you make a left on Southwest 30th Avenue, and the parcel is going to be on your right-hand side.
The left. Okay.
Okay.
so it's,
It's between I-95 and the railroad tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
Yeah.
right before you get to
Still,
95.
I'm still drawing a blank, but
Yeah.
I guess I'll go by there and I'll remember.
After the thing,
You
have to
yeah.
double check too.
If you drive 95,
Believe it or not, I'm only 3 blocks from Come on,
that's all right. I'll try to explain it
my
different.
address is 3150.
Do you turn off before you get to the racetrack gas station, that little lane right there? Okay. And over,
Well, there's
Yeah,
a
you
lot of
made it-
offices, or there's a lot of.
first right or the
There's
first
like an
right?
office building that's right there.
There's a
Yeah.
small office.
Is it where the storage thing is?
To the it's east of that storage thing.
This is currently, I mean, before the town changed this to MXE, mixed use entertainment, this was your industrial area. And so we're just asking, hey, until the infrastructure is available, we would still like these semi-industrial uses.
No, we all want to know where exactly it is. That's all we're trying to.
Okay.
I know. Yeah.
Marlon, could you go back to the aerial and maybe you could
It's okay.
try to do some landmarks? So
So is it down the racetrack road? Where, when you go farther down the racetrack road,
no.
there's a bunch of,
No, that's on the wrong. That's the. I don't want to say the wrong side of the tracks. So it would be on the other side of the railroad tracks is the area that.
It's on
across the
opposite
street.
side.
Yeah, across the street, across the railroad track.
Right on
Yeah,
right on the racetrack side.
yeah. I'll try to explain it from a person who's not from the town of Pembroke Park. So if you are going on southbound 95 and you take it to exit to Hallandale Beach Boulevard, it's all those buildings in the vacant land that's right up against
Yeah.
the off ramp.
Yeah, you see it from that.
It's so that those buildings that are like right on top of you as you're trying to make that turn to Hallandale Beach Boulevard.
Like
It's those
with
properties, right?
AutoZone and whatever building those are on that side.
oh, so it's really behind the AutoZone.
No, I'd want to say no. It's
It's your first right. As soon as you get off the 95 onto Hallandale Beach Boulevard, you take your immediate right-hand turn and go down that road. It's
Going west.
going with even
going
before.
north.
Going north.
Going north.
Hallandale Beach, yeah.
West on Hallandale, then you take your first right,
Sure.
going north on 30th Avenue.
If that's okay. Is it?
Yeah, it's-
That's the I-95.
I can sing.
That's I-95, yeah?
No, I really can't.
You go through, you come from you make a right, that's West Hallandale, and that's the office building. That's the office building we was talking about. You make a right, and that's the property.
Can you state your name and address?
Oh, Avi Shlomo, BH Group, and that's a
2999.
What's the name of it?
restaurant.
91st Avenue.
That's
Oh, racetrack. Oh, racetrack. I thought you said
So
restaurant.
that's the railroad. You go back to East Hallandale, yes?
Yeah.
And that's the road that you go to the property. That's the office building. So I-95 is here. You go west. The first exit, you make a right, and that's the property.
Okay. All right.
So that is our request, Mr. Chair, members of the board. The only slight amendment to the conditions that we would like to make, your staff has recommended approval with the conditions. As to recommendation number 2, we want to eliminate the term freight truck vehicles.
And we don't have any objection to that.
Freight truck.
Freight truck.
Again, the uses are very limited as to what we can do. And if my client is able to get a lease with a U-Haul, an Amazon,
some type of distributor such as this, we would like to be able to utilize the space to store those trucks, and this language would seem to prohibit that, so we just like it removed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it really wasn't clear. It's like, we don't have any objection to like fleet vehicles, a whole bunch of vehicles, they all look the same, they're just all right next to each other. We were worried that you were gonna have all kinds of different trucks coming in and out, like almost like a
Question would be,
terminal.
That's not the
Do you
case.
think it would add to the traffic woes?
No, because these would be, it's not anticipated these are gonna be peak hour demands.
And it's off the,
And it's
Yeah,
like-
and it is up.
off of Hallandale,
And if you take Pembroke Road from Southwest 30th, you have direct access onto I-95. So unless somebody is intentionally going west, you almost have no traffic. It's one right turn and you're onto Interstate 95.
Okay, entertain a motion?
If I may, yeah, we just have to open up for public
discussion,
hearing.
I'm sorry.
Public hearing. We just have to open it up as a public hearing and then,
Oh, any questions from the, how do I say that, audience?
from the public.
Or public, yeah.
I'm gonna make a public statement. Unlike all of you, you're wonderful.
And
Hi, darling. Yes.
State your name and address.
Oh, I don't know how to get this on there.
Just hold it.
just hold it.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, my name is Paul Murphy, 7600 Coquina Drive, North Bay Village, Florida, and my office is in Pembroke. I'm in Aventura. I'm with BH Group. I've been a builder developer for 55 years and a general contractor. We've designed like 5 different projects on this site. And first we were doing a box and trying to do retail, storage, and even offices on the second floor. But, then the new zoning came in and we actually designed a 13-story building. And I think we had like 222 units. Some of them were hotel units, some of them were condos, and according to the new design. But it was all somewhat of a waste of time because we're between a rock and a hard spot. We can't build that without having the sewer. And my guesstimate, having been in this business for a little while, is that I don't think it's going to be built in the next 5 or 6 years. That's just my guess, okay? So what I did want to say is we want to design a building now that can actually, we can add to the building. I want to do a structural design with the additional floors once we are able to build the additional floors. And I'm going to do the structure based on the potential building so that we could add floors whenever we have permission to do so. And that's what we want to do right now is just a box and do some retail and some storage and some offices. And then later, it would only require us to have a septic. So, we have to have parking because, your storage, whatever your storage is, even if it's for a furniture company, you have to provide a parking space for every 600 square feet. If you have offices, it's every 300 square feet, something like that. So it requires parking, and we're going to try to park as much as we can. But I'm going to build a structural building where we could add 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 more floors when we're able to do so. So that's all.
Parking.
No.
No.
Said retail.
We can do
Fences,
parking.
yeah.
We have a sign out there, so we have to keep the parking below that sign. And then we'll have to do a residential building on top of that, which is at an angle, so it doesn't interfere with the sign. We actually have that big sign right there at the south end of our property, and it's at an angle, and we have to do site plan to show that no part of the building is going to interfere with the site view of that sign. So that's a requirement that we have on the property. So that's the plan that we have, and hopefully if we can build something, add to it later, that would make everybody, at least our group, happy. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
I hope that made sense.
All right.
I can tell she's upset with me already.
You upset?
Lawyers never like it when their clients address a body without their prior knowledge.
It's okay.
Why tell your lawyer?
All right, discussion?
No close for public.
Yeah, we just have to close the public
Are
hearing
you-
and then.
Any more public comments? Closed. Discussion board?
Okay, so whatever temporary stuff you guys are gonna make and traffic start flowing within there to get out back to High 95 or wherever they're going, will there be a problem?
No, Board Member Walker, there will not.
Okay. Okay.
Because there's really no residents up in there. It's mainly warehouse. It's
No,
not-
and,
yeah,
and
it-
really to get from the site onto I-95 is
Yeah.
just making it through that one light. There's no backup, there's no other traffic really coming from where we are.
Okay. You have any more
All right.
questions? Okay.
Entertain a motion?
To approve with conditions and the revision of the
Yeah,
condition?
if you want to include the revisions as requested by the applicant, I would do so in the motion. So it would be a motion to approve with staff's conditions and the amendment made by the applicant, if you so choose.
Okay, I make the motion to approve and, wait a minute, I make the motions to approve and the request,
With staff,
with
with
staff.
staff conditions as amended by the applicant.
as, with staff,
Conditions.
staff conditions as recommended by the applicant.
There you go.
Right.
I second it.
Roll call?
Okay, so I'm going to read out the vote.
Vote.
Yes, your vote. Okay, motion made by Ms. Cunningham, seconded by Ms. Walker. The motion is to approve staff conditions and revisions by the applicant. Okay?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Schrader?
Yes.
Ms. Cunningham?
Yes.
Ms. Walker?
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you all very much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda.
Number 7.
7. Discussion items?
Yeah, what this is at the last P and Z meeting, we had discussed about the positions of the board members, the chair, the vice chair, so that we can have somebody to run the meetings. At that time, it was just discussed to go ahead and revisit it going forward. Now, I am going to be requesting for another member to be put up there. But to be honest, if anybody else comes up, they're going to probably have less experience than the three of you. I just think it's better if we already move along who will be the chair and the vice chair. And then afterwards, whoever we get,
Okay.
will be able to help them. Do you guys agree? Mr. Van Bulen?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So does anybody up there want to be the chair?
I'll do it.
You'll do it? Okay. So we have a nomination for Mr. Schrader to be the chair. Can we get a motion?
A motion
To approve Gary.
to approve Mr. Gary for chair.
Okay.
And I second it. Why are you laughing?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so motion passes. Now, if we could please have another motion for a vice chair. Who wants to be vice chair?
Evelyn.
No.
You wanna draw straws?
No, I can't. My schedule is crazy. I can't.
Did you make it to the meeting? Don't tell me you can't.
I make it to the meeting under special circumstance.
Okay, well, that's, you
Evelyn,
haven't
just go ahead and do it, dearie. You'll be fine. We'll support you.
So do we have a motion on the floor by Ms. Walker to recognize
Yes.
Ms. Cunningham as vice chair? Ms. Walker?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a second?
Yes.
Okay.
Come on, we've been together
Yes.
we've been 2 years together. We'll keep
All
going.
in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Say hi.
Ms. Cunningham, is that an aye?
Huh?
Is that an aye, ma'am?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess.
All right. Motion passes 3-0. Our new chair will be Mr. Schrader, and our vice chair will be Ms. Cunningham. So congratulations to you both.
Congratulations.
Ms. Walker, your contribution is very important to us, very important to this board. And when I understand that you have issues, not issues, but you have a life like
Yeah, yeah. No, you said
You don't have issues, I'm sorry.
Said it
Point is, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for coming out, and thank you for helping us.
Yes, thank you very much.
Meeting adjourned. Is there a motion, meeting adjourned? I'll say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Meeting is adjourned at 7:02.
Turn their speaker on.
So, I guess I gotta.